In a far-off realm where the land of the dead resides, there was a place which is more deep and wide, a dungeon for decay and nothingness. Tell me, why are they different from the rest? Who are these creatures and why were they banished? Was it because of the sin they unleashed, which put them in the pit of being punished? But which place will they spend eternity if they are no longer a man of this valley? Tartarus is the deepest region of the world, where darkness emerged without a word, a place of torment and eternal punishment. Those who commit sins will lead to imprisonment, and they are the prisoners of Tartarus, whose fates are bound to lose.
We are the fallen kings who lost our names and wings, no longer high and mighty, condemned to be free. This is not fair, stuck in this place, condemned to be free.
So are we.
For the love of Zeus, what are the odds?
Are you and your comrades? Should we applaud?
Or are you the new prisoners of the egotistical gods?
Psst.
Being inside in this murky dungeon simply means being a prisoner of this land. Then you can consider us as exiles of our homeland.
I hope that answered your questions.
I heard something earlier. What were you talking about being kings?
Oh, you heard it, huh?
Well, if you're so curious, I suppose we should tell you our stories that transpired a long time ago.
A long time ago?
If that happened in bygone years, then how long have you been imprisoned here?
For as long as we can no longer remember.
A memory we never thought could make us shudder.
The scent of the dreadful image of our misdeeds still lingers.
As if it cannot be erased forever.
We are the fallen kings who lost our names and wings, no longer high and mighty, condemned to be free.
Do you want to know our story?
Well, if you insist, then do as you wish. I'm Tantalus, once king of my kingdom. Sipalus was revered and loved by many, invited to dine in with the deity. Despite me being the son of Zeus, I'm now chastised, got nothing to lose.
If
you truly belong to the royal blood and an offspring of the greater God, why is the king of a wealthy realm sent to this eternal confinement? Do tell us, what are your sins?
Was convicted for several crimes. The first graveyard sin I committed is when I stole the ambrosia and nectar of Olympus and offered it to my people, thinking it would give them immortality, but that led me to being driven by insanity. I was driven by greed. My hunger for recognition got the best of me. It got to the extent of abusing divine favor and revealed the secrets I learned in heaven. I sacrificed my own child to the gods as I offered them his flesh. It was amiss, so they were deeply insulted. And when I met my untimely demise, I was sent to this place for eternal punishment.
How about you? What's your story?
Well, my life is truly normal. Salmoneus, son of King Aeolus of Salmonia, rose to the throne of southern Ilice and northwestern Messenia. I've nothing to tell about my haughtiness, now I'm doomed to fall under immutable rest.
Then, why did the gods punish you?
I demanded my people to worship me, as if I am the great King Zeus of Mount Olympus. I mocked him by mimicking his eminence, by driving a chariot over a bridge of brass, while dragging a bronze of kettles to create thunder, and casting the torches through the air as fall lightning. Enraged by my obnoxious actions, he who has a power over the mortals struck me with his thunderbolt. I died upon the hands of a god, gaining the name of an impious man. My soul went miserably to the deepest pit of the underworld.
Just how miserable are we? Disciples, by the way. I founded the kingdom of Ephyra, brother of the arrogant king of Salmonia, a city to become my commercial hub. What did it cost me? My liberty, I've been robbed.
And just how bad have you insulted the gods?
You seem full of mischief.
A man brimming with deceit.
I am in fact the most cunning of men. I cheated death twice in a row. The first time I died, I escaped death after descending into the underworld. I captured Thanatos, the personification of death. I chained him up so no one would die thereafter. And after dying for the second time, I persuaded Hades to let me back into the bright realm. Under the pretext of punishing my wife, I asked her not to provide me with a proper demise. I went back to the land of the living and never came back to the realm of the dead again. When I died again, Zeus intervened. I was eternally put under a long and tedious suffering.
My brother is indeed a devious man.
Aren't we all?
You. How about you?
Me, Ixion, once a great king of my city, was an exile and not much of a story. My reign vanished along with my mighty name. I walked down a path of murky lane. I was punished by Zeus himself. Was sent to this hell of a place where all my morals had gone to waste.
Is there more to your story?
After slaying my own kin by burning him alive during the feast, I am no longer welcome in any city. I was an outcast, but the great god Zeus pitied me, and I was invited to Olympus. I grew fond of Hera and attempted to seduce her, but I was tricked by Zeus into making love to a cloud instead. I was severely punished for my crimes and was sent to this land after meeting death itself.
Now that you have known our story, isn't it about time to share yours?
We haven't heard anything from you yet. What are the crimes have you committed that even the gods were deeply insulted?
Oh my god, is it finally done talking? I am Ravener, remember that name, a child without a title to hold. I bear no name if truth be told, Pat. Who cares about that anyway when I was chastised by the meter for my selfish intent. I spare no cups, devoured them all at my heart's content. Took everything she gave them, oh, that was a huge incident. And I, as they say, who coveted her blessings will be prosperous of them all.
Then, how did that go for you?
I am a mundane to the land I have wronged. I took advantage of them by stealing the crops of the god Demeter and ate them on my own. I wasn't an exile, nor have I killed anyone. Yet, I angered the goddess who cares for her land.
Oh, someone's eager to share her story.
Let's hear it then.
I am Leia, the grave digger. Maybe born as a girl, but I am a soldier. I came from Troy, the wealthiest city, where the greatest war, according to history, was raised to overthrow the enemy. And I am confident enough that we'll conquer victory. Not until I met my death untimely, stripped my dignity. I met my death untimely.
A warrior? Then what are you punished for?
I was born mortal with great prowess in fighting, so I was put under the training of Troy's mighty soldier immediately. But I was punished by the god of hard labor, Ponus, for being a sloth, as I slack off without a pause. It led to the demise of my comrades. He said I was so arrogant for trusting my human ability. So, he laid his imperishable judgment upon me.
That's rough.
And you?
Anthem, the name they called me. I'm a victim, I swear. I'm not a killer, but I slain them all, those who slaughtered my family. Didn't think of the comeuppance it might bring me. Destroyed their hopes cause they destroy mine. I couldn't care less, and I know I was out of line. Came from a family of peasants, a subject of hate and shame. We experienced being ridiculed and extreme mockery. But what aggrieved me the most is when they murdered my family. So I went on a killing spree. And as I took my own life, the god of war and slaughter Ares descended to our land. He swore upon his mightiest names that I, who committed the gravest sin, shall receive its consequence.
Just like the four of you, we are convicted of crimes too.
We are sent for eternal punishment, where we are bound to receive the God's torment.
We are no longer a man of our city, for we are now prisoners of this valley.
Utter darkness prison. They would beg for atonement of their sins.
But the messengers of punishment will come in. To torture their soul, let the torment begin.
Tantalus, who bears the sin of greed, was condemned to stand in a lake of truths, without being able to satisfy his hunger and thirst, which symbolized the sin he committed when he was the king of his homeland.
Salmoneus, who was brimming with arrogance and embodied the sin of envy, was punished by being struck with lightning continuously. He who mocked the existence of God shall receive the befitting discipline for his sin. Sisyphus, the most deceitful of all, shall receive the name of the cunning rogue under the sin of pride, paid the price of his trickery. The reprieve he gained through his cunning was brief. The torture he suffered in the underworld was eternal. He was punished for pushing a boulder uphill, eternally. But Sisyphus' efforts were constantly fruitless, since every time he drew close to the summit, the rock would roll back down. As a result, Sisyphus was compelled to restart his task.
Exile, who resembles the saint of Laos, will receive his eternal punishment for his audacity and complete disrespect for both humanity and the gods. He will be tied to an ever-spinning wheel of fire in a field of punishment.
Leia, who angered the god of hard labor Ponus, and carries the sin of sloth, will be chastised by being chased by the hellhounds amidst the hell of fire, as she runs the field of cactus patches, barefoot. Ravenir, who holds the sin of gluttony, shall be forced to eat myriads of moths as a punishment for her insatiable desire for nourishment. Eternally, she will forever gain the weight of her terrible sins inside the field of punishment.
Anton, who murdered the people of her tribe and eventually bears the sin of pride. She was slain by the god of war himself, will receive her eternal punishment by being tormented in constant lashing until her blood will cover the parched pavement.
And then their legacy will fade into oblivion as they all carry the waste of their sins.